I am here now with the man who is widely considered to be the greatest football coach of all time. Bill Belichick has won 6 Super Bowls as the head coach of the New England Patriots, and he's won 2 more as the defensive coordinator of my former team, the New York Giants. Well, now he's written a book called The Art of Winning, Lessons from My Life and Football. Coach, welcome to GMA. Give it up for Coach Bill Belichick, everybody. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here. I appreciate you not wearing your rings.
Yeah, I'm not going to wear the ring. I only got 1. You got 8. I just pointed out there. And you wrote this book. We're going to talk about the book right now because it's sitting there right next to you. It's not only a playbook for the game of football. It's a playbook for the game of life. So I'm just curious, why now? Why did you decide to write this book?
Well, I had an opportunity to do it. I've thought about it, several years ago, and it just, when you're in the moment, you're in the season. It's just there is no off season. You're just running. You're on the treadmill and you're running. So last year I had a little more time to do it, and just was able to collect some thoughts, brought back a lot of good memories, some not so good ones, of you sacking us and all that. But it was a great opportunity to just get some thoughts on paper and put it together. And again, it's not about how to live your life. It's kind of how I did my job. Yeah. And if there's a lesson in it for somebody, great. And hopefully there's some entertaining stories.
But you got a lot of lessons, you got a lot of entertaining stories, and you dedicate a few special pages to people along the way. Page 199 is dedicated to your 199th pick in 2000 drafts, Tom Brady. And you say you share a story about something that you heard him say or he said earlier that you've never shared before. What was that?
Which one?
The one about in the hallway would have scored 40.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Look, after every game, Tom always was, we left a lot of points on the field. We can be better. We might win by 30, and it would be like, we could have won by another 20. I missed this pass. We missed that play. He's always striving for perfection. And think about Tom, and you think about improvement, that's really what football's about. You play once a week. You got 6 days to prepare, 6 days to improve and get ready for the game. Tom Brady was a 4th-string quarterback. I mean, who has a 4th-string quarterback? And ended up being the greatest player, of all time. And so that's a lot of work, that's a lot of dedication, and that's a lot of commitment and discipline. So, he's really the poster boy for improvement and consistency.
And the GOAT. I mean, what he did and what you two did together has been unmatched and probably would not be matched by anyone. And the fact that he's in the hallway going, I would have scored 40, but not sharing it publicly. That's how his private confidence that he had in himself. And you had a lot of career-defining moments, 6 Super Bowl victories as a head coach. But you say in the book there's no such thing as the big game. I'm trying to understand that one. There's no such thing as the big game. What do you mean by that?
Well, we played in our stadium and practiced in our stadium, right? Everything was done in the stadium. So every time we walked into the building, it was the same every day. Do your job, work hard, pay attention to details, and put the team first. And it didn't matter whether it was OTAs in the spring or whether it was the AFC Championship game. Our message and our job was the same every day. Make the most out of every day. Work hard, be attentive, put the team first, and most importantly, do your job and do it well. And so we never felt like, oh, the moment's too big for us. We haven't been here before. A lot of the things we did in practice were harder in the game. Like spraying the balls with silicone to make them harder to handle, and turning up the noise so that you couldn't hear anything, and putting 30 seconds on a 40-second clock instead of 40, so the offense had to operate quicker. We tried to make it a little bit harder in practice than it was in the game. And so when we talked about the big games, a lot of times those moments, hopefully we'd already experienced, or something even a little more difficult. The silicone balls, they hated those.
Well, I can see right now, that was the secret. I wish I'd known that secret a long time ago. But it's evident that you love coaching, and you're a leader. And you always say that a leader doesn't you don't say what you need to say, you say what your team needs to hear. So for somebody in their personal life or their professional life, how does that work? How do they know what the team needs to hear?
Well, I'd say, as a coach, when things are going well, you're getting a lot of praise. Everybody's just heaping the praise on. And I was really the voice to bring things down. It's like, well, we're not as good as everybody's saying we are. Here's all the things that we're not doing well. We need to do better. And vice versa, if things aren't going well, there's a lot of criticism. Everybody's upset. But actually, we're doing enough things good enough to win, or we're doing some things good enough to win, but not enough. And we got to get these other things up to where they need to be, and then we'll be okay. So I always try to be the balance on that. When things were bad, I try to be positive. When things were good, I had a way of trying to bring things down and say, look, don't believe the hype. We still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of those interviews, Coach. You definitely know how to bring it down sometimes. I ain't gonna lie to you. The University of North Carolina, you're now the new head coach. Your dad was the coach there. Your dad, Steve, 1953 to 1955. How did it feel for you to follow in your father's legacy?
It feels great. It really feels great. You know, I grew up around college football at the Naval Academy and some of the great teams there, especially the 63 team, 60 team, great teams and great players there, you know, Staubach, Tom Lynch, you know, Pat Donnelly and those guys. And they were great leaders, great people, and great inspirations to me. And I learned a lot from watching them. And so I've always kind of tried to make my team look like those teams, the kind of teamwork, camaraderie, communication, toughness, and resilience that those guys had. And of course, those are the days where you had two-way players, so you only had half as much practice time. So the efficiency that the coaches had in practice to get a full practice in offense, defense, and the kicking game with the same guys was pretty good. So you know, I learned a lot there, and so it's great to be in college working with young kids.
Do you have to change your coaching style from pros to college?
You know, not too much, because they're so eager, they're hungry, they have dreams, they want to be good. I want to help make them good, and I want to help make them good on a good team. So it's really been exciting to work with these guys. Some of them don't have bad habits either, and you can start to mold some of them. Now, some of them don't have some of the good experience habits that a great player has, but it's great to work with them. They've been very enthusiastic, and we've made a lot of progress. Got a long way to go, of course.
Yeah, I mean, college kids are learning, but you've had a transformation since your coaching days with the Patriots. You've done some things I never thought I'd see you do before. You had gigs on TV. You're putting your personal life out on social media. Now you went back to college to coach. So what would the Patriots Bill Belichick say to the UNC Bill Belichick? What kind of advice would you have if you had any?
Again, for me, it's all about learning. You know, I learn every day, and I've learned so much being back in the college environment, with whether it be recruiting, the college game, the rules, the hash marks, some strategy, and just putting a team together. But I've learned a lot. I learn every day. I've got a great staff. You know, Michael Lombardi's done a great job for me in terms of bringing the personnel side of it together, and you know, us having a shared vision, kind of like we had in the NFL. You know, we have a coach, general manager model, and so that's been great as well to work with him and to you know, go through the process of, you know, reacclimating to a little bit of it. Football's still football, but there's certainly some differences, and it'll be interesting to see how the whole House settlement comes out with what the rules are exactly with roster size and you know, compensation for the players, NIL, and all that, and trying to figure out how to maximize you know, giving the players the you know, the financial rewards they deserve, at the same time maintaining the competitive balance on your team. You know, like we had to do with salary cap in the NFL. Yeah,
and I know that a lot has been made also in the professional life, but also of your personal life, because it's spilled over into your professional life in a lot of ways, and a lot has been made about your relationship with Jordan Hudson. It's been getting a lot of attention. She isn't here this morning, but what do you think about all the attention that your relationship has been getting?
Yeah, well, she's been terrific, you know, through the whole process, and she's been very helpful to me. She does the business things that don't relate to North Carolina that come up in my life, so I can concentrate on football, and that's really what I want to do. You know, I acknowledged her in the book. She was very helpful on that with the tribute pages, and also giving a perspective of the book from kind of a business side. You know, sometimes I get a little football technical, and so, you know, she did a good job of keeping me on balance there.
So what did Jordan mean to you?
Well, we have good personal relationship, and you know, I'm not talking about personal relationships, Michael. You know that.
Okay, I know that, Coach. But I'm saying, are you happy?
Yeah.
You look happy.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see you doing yoga. Only happy people do yoga, Coach. Only happy people do yoga. Well, I know a lot's been made about all of this, and I just hope that the focus gets back on you and if you're happy, we're all happy for you.
I appreciate it, Michael.
And I wish you well at UNC. Good luck this year coaching, and the art of winning. You know a lot about that, and I appreciate you being here this morning.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
All right, Coach. The Art of Winning is available now. Make sure you go out and check it out.